I had no idea how tough trying to get anywhere with our writing would be, and it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely competitive. And yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. You can, you can do it.
If a new screenwriter can't get an agent, how would they expect to get their screenplays read and out there?
It's tough. It's tough because a lot of these screenplay competitions I'm not like a huge fan of, I'm just not. But certain competitions can get you noticed, certain competitions. And, look, if it was me, if you're asking me what I would do, I'm just sending my stuff to agents. I'm sending my stuff to managers. I mean, this is what I used to do. I mean, this is certainly not like a popular thing to do. I probably get a little, frowned upon, but that's just, I'm somebody, my motto kind of in my brain is like a closed mouth doesn't get fed, So if I don't know anybody, if I don't know, there was a long time I didn't know anybody, I'm sending my stuff out to people, I mean, I got my first manager I couldn't get rep by anybody. My first manager I was stunt doubling a guest star on a TV show. And we became friends, we became buddies over the course of the show. And, it's totally frowned upon to try to hustle an agent or a manager from, especially if you're a stunt person. But I did. I said, can I meet your manager? And they asked me, can you, the guy asked me, he said, you got an acting reel? And I did. I had, done a bunch of acting by that time. I gave it to him and he said, oh, yeah, you're pretty good. I'll introduce you. And I got repped. I mean, so everybody's not working on, doing stunts or in a position to do that. But I'm just saying that was like an unorthodox way that I got repped, because I couldn't from emailing people. It wasn't working. I mean, the advice I would have is, the only advice that I really could give is to try to meet people that could potentially take interest in it, to enter competitions that are legitimate, legitimate competitions, and if the right people see it, you're going to get noticed. But it's hard. It's just hard. It's just hard. I thought getting a SAG card was hard, and writing is a lot harder, so it's tough.
Because a SAG card you could get theoretically doing extra work.
I mean, in Chicago it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to be a principal performer, or you have to you have to either book a role as a principal performer, or there just has to be something. There has to be a need for you. There has to be some type of need. As a stunt person, for example, to get a SAG card, you either have to be the perfect fit to double somebody, or they need your look or something like that. It's like a catch-22 getting a SAG card. It's so hard, because in order to work on shows, you have to have a SAG card, but in order to, but you also have to work on a show to get a SAG card. So you have to have that first break to get it, In California, they do the voucher thing, I think, with the extras or whatnot, but they never did that in Chicago. But all that to say, like, I only mean more difficult in the sense that I had no idea how tough trying to get anywhere with our writing would be, and it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely competitive. And yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. You can do it.
And what about a book? If you ever return to the idea of writing, let's say, a memoir, do you think that would be just as difficult, but just a different beast?
I'm intimidated by writing a book. I really am. I think it would be tougher for me for some reason. I don't know. I just really, it's the one thing I haven't written. I've written short films. I've written feature films. I've written short plays. I've written full-length plays. I've, written half-hour comedies. I've written full-length, dramas. I've never written a book. So I don't know.
I believe you said you're not Hollywood.
Did I say that?
Oh, you might have. You might have said it in passing.
All right.
I don't think it's something you just said in passing, and I was just curious. What does that mean not Hollywood, even though you're here in LA, you live in the proper LA County area.
Sure.
What is Hollywood? What is not Hollywood?
I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the context was when I said I'm not Hollywood, but what I mean by that is I don't go to parties. I'm sober. I've been sober almost 12 years. I don't, go mingle with a lot of people. I'm comfortable at home. I'm kind of a homebody. I've got a couple friends that I like to hang out with on a regular basis. I've got my best friend Adam. I've got my best friend Billy. I smoke cigars. I kind of have a simple life. I work out. I do jujitsu. I just do things that I enjoy outside of writing. That Hollywood to me, in that sense, is you're always looking for the next thing in a very artificial way. You're at a party and you're talking to somebody and you're noticing that they're looking past you at the next person. When I was first starting out as a stunt guy, I went to different stunt, hustles. And I would be talking to somebody, like having a conversation with them, and I would notice that they were just looking past me, trying to find like a more interesting or valuable person to talk to. And it's the same way with everything else. I don't really like that. And I don't want to associate with somebody like that. And I don't value that. So for me, I don't live in Hollywood. I did for a while. I don't live in Hollywood. I guess, look, Hollywood is smoke and mirrors. Hollywood is smoke and mirrors. That's the whole business is. So I try, even though I'm a part of it, and I love creating, I love writing, I love creating, I love performing. I also like leaving and going to a quiet house. Playing with my animals. Spending time with my wife. Like I like that. So I guess that's the best way I can really just explain it.
Is it hard to be sober in LA?
No, not for me. Not for me. It certainly could be. Could be hard if I wasn't, diligent. But I'm pretty serious about my sobriety, and because I know what I was like prior. And there's the old saying, you go to a barber shop enough times, you're going to get a haircut. And so, hey, look, I don't hang out around a lot of parties and drinking and drugs. It's not my thing. So, like, I don't care if you drink around me. I don't care if you smoke pot around me. I don't care. You're not going to see me hanging out with that every day. And, it works for me.
And even with people who smoke pot, the drug culture is very similar, even if people say, well, marijuana is not hurtful. Okay, it's not, but the drug culture, there's a similarity. If you know that culture, there's sort of a line that's very similar to any culture.
I've been away from it for so long, you're talking to a guy that used to smoke crack and shoot heroin and like I was a wild man. And for me, I've been away from it so long, I don't want it anymore. That's not the life I want. So for me, it's not difficult, and God willing, it will continue to not be difficult,